in Chicago, but it's ringing out in a number of cities across the U.S. as people gather to celebrate the 4th of July weekend.
Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has more now from Washington.
It was a deadly weekend as Americans gathered to celebrate the 4th of July. At least 100 people were shot in a number of cities across the U.S. In Chicago alone, there were more than 85 shootings in total, resulting in the deaths of at least 14 people. Among those who were shot were 2 Chicago police officers. One was struck in the foot while the other was struck in the thigh. Community activists in the Windy City say they are frustrated with the immense number of shootings.
When are we really going to say enough? We need help on all ends, all levels.
Meanwhile, in New York City, 26 people were shot from midnight Friday through Sunday evening. This comes as the city reports a massive uptick in shootings. The NYPD says they've seen a 48% increase in gunshot victims compared with the same time last year. And smaller cities weren't spared from the violence. In Toledo, Ohio, 1 person is dead and 11 others were wounded after gunfire erupted during a 4th of July block party. There's no word on a motive for the shooting and no suspects have been taken into custody. Some are now saying the rise in violence nationwide is due to individuals not supporting law enforcement across the country.
Put the blame squarely in the hands of the people committing crime and not make cops the bad guy who are there confronting these violent people.
The Biden administration last week pledged to offer funds to cities across the country to hire more police officers and to help to crack down on illegal firearms dealers. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Any person who harms our children, we will expend whatever it takes to find you. And we will find you. We will find you.
5 children are shot in the span of just 24 hours. Parents killed, lives unended, and forever changed. And on the heels of this holiday weekend, the men and women in charge of keeping the city of Houston safe are vowing to ramp up their efforts to do just that.
Mayor Sylvester Turner announcing a new effort to combat the rise in crime as the city of Houston now reports at least 240 homicide investigations so far this year, a staggering rise when compared to the 129 homicides during this time in 2019. Our Keith Garvin live from the West Chase area where just yesterday a mother was killed and her baby son wounded. Keith?
That is correct, Dominique. Chris, this is where a young mother died yesterday protecting her 1-year-old. The mayor says it is that killing and others this week that has him saying enough is enough.
This is where all of us should draw the line.
The mayor of Houston asking the citizens of Houston to draw a line after a tragic line already has been crossed. The violence the city has seen this year is now impacting more and more children in direct, deadly ways.
We're not doing too good, and I'm not, I'm telling the truth, we're not doing good at all.
Shirley Steele joined the mayor and other city leaders in solidarity today after her daughter Layla was shot and killed Thursday holding her 1-year-old son. Layla was shot 4 times, her baby wounded in the leg.
She died protecting him. She fell on top of him, protecting him.
The suspected shooter is the baby's father.
Zacchaeus Gaston?
Zacchaeus Gaston, seen here at an April court appearance, was out on bond on 7 felony counts and wearing an ankle monitor when investigators say he killed the mother of his child and wounded his 1-year-old. Law enforcement is searching for Gaston after arresting a suspect in a triple murder on Wednesday in which a mother, father, and their 6-year-old daughter were shot to death in their apartment in Southwest Houston. In an effort to combat the increase in crime, Turner says he has authorized more than $2 million in overtime to HPD to have more officers on the street, especially as we head into what could be a violent holiday weekend.
To expand our reach and our presence in this city and to take additional steps to target where this crime appears to be occurring.
And back here live, both the mayor and police chief Troy Fenner say that that line has to be drawn at the killing of children and harboring those who do that killing. Reporting live from West Chase, Keith Garvin, KPRC 2.
What's up, everybody? Peace be unto the 12 tribes of Israel. And hallelujah. All praises be unto the Most High Yah. our Savior, our Redeemer, our strong tower. I'm here with you today with a very, very special message, an urgent message that we need to hear right away, because as I watch and pray, I'm seeing a very, very nefarious and dangerous agenda forming against the children of Israel. And you need to be aware of it right now, because as we speak, these events are taking place in major cities across the United States, coast to coast, and not just even in the United States. It's taking place in other parts of the world like Brazil and Colombia, different parts of Africa, Asia, wherever there is a large presence of our people, Yah's people, there is a crackdown coming. And I'm going to show you, if you didn't already notice by the clips that you just saw, I'm going to share with you this article that clearly points out that these people are not playing with us. And we need to be on alert. We need to be extremely and keenly aware of the moves that our enemies and oppressors are making, because they really are not playing with us. I came across this article just to drive home the point. If, like I said, if the two clips you didn't just witness, or the two clips you witnessed didn't prove it to you, there's something going on. There is a movement going on that's being declared against our people in these large cities where we have a large presence. They are going to do what they can to put themselves in close proximity to us, not to protect and serve. If you believe that, then I don't know what to tell you, because clearly that's not the agenda at hand for them. There is no protect and serve. And for the record, I've been all over this country and visited many, many cities. And I've been in the neighborhoods where we live in many of these cities that I've visited or stayed in. And I understand that there is a plan in place to very closely monitor our people. And as things continue to ramp up, that plan will become more and more aggressive, as you can see by this article that I'm sharing with you right now. I'll go ahead and read it. As TFTP reported last week, President Joe Biden has doubled the budget for the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, or COPS office. For the last several years under the Trump presidency, this funding has remained consistently around $380 million. But now we live in Biden's domestic terror police state, and things are changing fast. Last year, the entire COPS office appropriation budget was at $386 million. This year, Biden is spending $388 million on the hiring program alone. This year's budget, fiscal year 2021, for the hiring program approved under Trump was set at $156.5 million. Biden more than doubled the funding for it in fiscal year 2022. Now, under the Biden administration, the fiscal year 2022 budget has been increased to a whopping $651 million. How's that for defunding the police? If you want to know where your reparations money is going, it's programs like this that are being secretly enacted, that are coming to us in very nefarious ways. The COVID-19 relief funding is the source of these funds that are being put out and allocated towards policing, not in other people's communities, but in our communities. They are creating the atmosphere, and they are creating the illusion that there is a crime wave going off in every black neighborhood in the country. And I really don't buy that, but okay, if that's the case, I still don't believe that it's organic. I don't believe that all of a sudden every black neighborhood in the country has all of a sudden just broken out in some wild crime wave where we're out here just running in the streets and killing each other and all of these things. There's something else at play here, and I need people to think critically about what they see. You will have to be very, very critical in your thought process, because what actions are ensuing as a result of this supposed crime wave is going to directly impact you, your life, your livelihood, your peace. And as I said, I'm here with a very urgent warning. First of all, open your eyes and see. This is not some just knee-jerk response to this crime wave. This is orchestrated. This is choreographed. This is planned. Because they need a reason to come into our neighborhoods. We haven't really given them one. I've been in these neighborhoods. There's nothing going on in these neighborhoods like that. I've walked down the streets. The worst thing you have to worry about in a black neighborhood is a dog getting out of the fence and coming after you. But crime, that's not going on the way that they're trying to report that it is. But there are people amongst us who feel like, well, I saw it on the news. Well, the politician said it, the mayor said it, the governor said it, and they start listening to all of these different people who are in on the very plans in place to attack and oppress us. Again, this is not for everybody. If you're the type of person that you only listen to your news media or the government, you're stuck. Sorry, this is not even for you. I'm talking to those who still have an ear to hear. And what I'm about to say is crucial to your survival. It is time for us to wake up and understand that these large cities where there is a large population of black people are traps. Better yet, they are nothing but very large, very well-run plantations. And these mayors, black mayors, are nothing more than your overseers. Well-paid overseers. They are not in office to support you. They are not in office to help you. They are not in office to bring about positive change for black communities. Many of you have lived in these cities for a very, very long time under black mayors, and nothing's changing. Your neighborhoods are still being gentrified. Your neighborhoods are still seeing poverty and low opportunities for those who live in these communities. So do not take it as a plus that you have a black mayor. Because if you do, that's simply your greatest indication that they are there to help your master oppress you. When we start to see the news that these police officers are going to have to be in our neighborhoods more, and all of a sudden there's this patchwork laid for them to have to be patrolling in our neighborhoods. Remember what the foundation of cops is all about, what the foundation of the police is all about. It's about patrolling the slaves, honey. And that agenda hasn't changed very much at all. They've added a few little things to it, little bells and whistles and different functions of the police, but their ultimate and original purpose is to patrol the slaves. So if you are in a city where you're seeing these crime waves and they're coming on the news every half hour telling you about somebody else has been killed and shot and the babies are dying and all of these things, think critically. They are creating these scenarios in a lot of ways, or they're manipulating them. If you're thinking critically, you do know this is not all organically happening. Yes, there's domestic violence. Yes, we know the husbands or ex-husbands or ex-boyfriends get mad and kill and all of that stuff. But there's some other stuff going on that they just, if you're not looking, you'll never see it. But for those of us who are watching and praying, we see it clearly, and I'm just doing my part to try and warn. The first thing that they want to do and announce when they start telling you about this crime wave is that, oh, we need more cops. We need more cops in these communities. We need to expand our reach. They start approving overtime for the cops to be in your community. When the very last thing that we need in our communities in this day and age are overworked, overstressed and trigger happy cops. That's the last thing we need. But you notice that's their first solution. That's what they want to do. We need more cops in these neighborhoods. They're not doing that to protect and serve. They are doing that because they need to increase the slave patrol. There are things happening in this world behind the scenes that they're not telling you anything about. But they understand who we are as a people. They understand what we are. That's why they've done everything they could to make sure that they keep us in check. Keep us living in close, tight quarters. And exacting power over us whenever, wherever, and however they can. So my warning to you is simple. If you are in these cities and you have any way whatsoever of getting out, I would strongly urge you at this time to do so. If you can make your way to an area that is much less populated. A lot of us have families where we have family land in rural areas. If you can get there or just get to a place that's just not so heavily populated with all of us. And if you can go in groups, do it. I'm saying get out of the cities. I'm not telling you where to go, how to go, but I'm telling you that these cities are a trap. They are about to become extremely dangerous. And it is extremely dangerous for us to be living together in close quarters. They are going to make things very, very hectic and very, very hard and very, very dangerous. And it's up to us. What are we going to do? They have the power. They make the rules. But we have our own power if we will call on Him. His name is Yahuwah, a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe. So, family, if you're out there, if you hear me, if you know what I'm talking about, if you see it with your own eyes, I don't want to hold you too long. I just want to put this out there, y'all, that something's happening. Something very dangerous, something very nefarious is going on. And if we don't open our eyes and pay attention, we will become further victimized by the agendas of our enemy. This is not an organic crime wave, not happening all at the same time across the United States from coast to coast. Don't buy that. There's a lot more I can say, but hopefully you all get the picture. Start praying on this stuff. Start watching and start thinking about what you need to do to secure your family and secure your lives, because they have no respect for our lives. At the end of the day, we're not here to be equal with them. We know that. If you have eyes and ears, you know these people have not ever been playing with us in 400 years. So please be vigilant. Open your eyes, open your ears, open your heart, open your mind, and be very aware that something is going on. Something is taking place in this country, and it involves you directly as not a person of color, but as a Hebrew. As a Hebrew. Whether or not you believe that's your bloodline, honey, catch up, okay? That's all I can say. You're Hebrew. If you've ever called yourself black or African American or Negro, honey, your bloodline is Hebrew Israelite. And they know that. And that is why these agendas and plans are being enacted against you. So that's all I've got for now. I hope you all just continue to open your eyes. That's all I can say. You've been warned, and if this is not enough of a warning, hopefully you can do more research on your own and you can see that there is something happening. And if that's not enough to convince you to escape the attacks that are being launched against you, I've done my part. I said what I could, and I hope that this reaches enough people that we begin to take action to protect ourselves and our families. All praises to the Most High, y'all. Y'all be safe out there. I'm praying for you. I love you. And hopefully this will all be over very soon. Shalom.